social media has shifted because of the way that they've been able to brand.
Totally.
So jumping on as a training partner to it feels genius.
Yeah, and I think the simplicity, you know, it's quite interesting. Everything that seems to have come through the last hour or so is any good idea is a simple idea, right?
Yeah.
And you think the key difference between that event and other fitness races, hybrid training races, it never changes. So you know what you're going to get.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to StoryTime. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Happy December, everyone. We've made it through to the end of the year. Everyone's exhausted, but everyone's happy that we're here. Summer's here. Shout out to everyone in Cape Town, Joburg. You guys are kind of cool too. Enjoy the summer. Sending lots of love. You'll see a lot of content come out from StoryTime throughout the month of December as well. So please keep watching and contributing towards the show. The episode that we have for you today is brought to you by HYROX Hydration. As a heads up for the new year coming, don't forget to grab your tickets to the HYROX Legacy Series that is happening in February. It will be the best fighters from Cape Town defending their territory against some of the best fighters from around the world. Excited to see you there. Thank you so much, HYROX. So today we have Ceri Hannan, the head of product for Planet Fitness South Africa, in studio today. Ceri, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, mate.
This is awesome.
Thank you, brother.
So excited to do this because I can come out and say that you guys have successfully won myself, my girlfriend, and my entire family over.
Awesome.
With what you guys have done at Planet Fitness.
Cool. I'd like to say it's all me, but there's a team behind it. But yes.
Well, right here, it's just you and me.
Yeah.
So, you know, you
There's no I
representing
in
the
my
team.
team.
Exactly. So just to get into Planet Fitness, the last 2, 3, maybe we can push it even more to say like 5 years have been monumental for what the brand has stood for in South Africa.
Yeah.
I've seen a change, whether it be in the branding, the facilities, the amount of stores, the way it's been rolled out, the partnerships you guys have put in place as well. So just to kind of have a conversation diving into all of that.
Awesome.
But before we touch it, I just want to get into, you guys are doing something massively exciting now in December in Plet.
We are. 15th to the 21st, Train Plet, a pop-up training experience. The beautiful thing about what we're trying to do there is create, and I use the term a lot, are you a branded house or a house of brands? So any health club can be a branded house. It can be a red one, a blue one, a yellow one, but we are creating, I would say at that event, a house of brands. So we've got Reformer Pilates, we've got yoga, we've got a complete hybrid training experience.
Sick.
We've got hybrid games, so simulations, HYROX simulation, you could say. So 3 of those going on. So it's not just a gym. It's you can turn up and you can work within various pieces of our product proposition. So if you go to the Cavendish Club?
Yes.
Yes, if you go to Cavendish, we've got Reformer, we've got HYROX classes, we've got yoga classes. So you can get an experience, but in a pop-up space, in Plet.
Okay.
There's worse places to be, right?
100%. I think there's also something beautiful about that event in that you were touching on it earlier, saying a holiday destination where you're throwing a fitness-styled event. Why I think that is awesome is because I love my routine of training. I'm not too adamant on what time of day or where or how, but it's nice to get in to still feel good, to get to enjoy my day in the sun, to feel good about myself, the structure of my day, and you know how productive I am. So you guys are providing holiday goers with not just the opportunity to work out at any way and style that they would prefer, but to do it in a community styled environment where you can have fun, you can meet people and communicate with friends and family, grab a beer afterwards if you want.
Absolutely.
But pick your style and have fun with it and kind of get invested into the community of Plet, which is awesome.
Yeah, look, we've got a team there literally from the 15th to the 21st. My wife's there, she's going to be teaching Reformer. My son's DJing, so we've got beats going on, we've got food stalls there, cold plunge, like you name it, we've got it. So it's not just for and I hate this term, but having done this for 38 years, you're a fitness freak. It's not for the fitness freaks. It's for people, you hit the nail on the head, community. So whether your community is Reformer, whether your community is yoga, whether you do hybrid training, back in the day, we would call that cross training.
Yeah.
We've got rigs there. We've got benches there. So if you want to go and do back and biceps, it looks like you do a little bit of that.
There we go. We can get that
we've got
in.
you. We've got you. We've got your back. I always say we've got your front. We've got your back. We've got your middle. We've got you covered, mate. We've got you covered. We've got you, seriously. So, multiple propositions that you would see in any Planet Fitness club around the country. But also it's an amazing branding, positioning piece, because if you've never been to a Planet Fitness club, but you happen to be in Plet, you can try one of our experiences and go, you know what, that is pretty cool. And I live in Benoni, or I live in Cavendish, or I live in Durbanville. So when you do go back to your day-to-day life, then maybe, just maybe, there's an opportunity to keep this going. So it's really, hopefully, the start of a journey for some people with us.
Drinking a Nox Hydrate feels like...
Is there no one else? Give it up for still
Let's get back to the show.
You'll be there, as you say, with family and friends. It looks like we will probably be there as well on the 20th/21st. And Nox Hydration will be there as well throughout the whole thing, providing you guys with some lekker hydration. So that'll be a lot of fun. Ceri, let's get into career and your life. You've been in, funny enough, music and fitness your whole life. What has led up to being with Planet Fitness and living in South Africa?
Wow. This is a 6-day podcast, right?
Okay, there we go. We can rock through.
So I guess, to really cut a very long story short, at 16, I was a wannabe football player, and I was never going to be David Beckham. So at 16, I got released from a place in the UK called Shrewsbury, Shropshire, and I was playing for Shrewsbury as a 16-year-old, and got released. My mum, bless her, she's now 85, but my mum was like, you're not maybe that academic, but we're gonna give this a go. And there was good old Margaret Thatcher started similar to an apprenticeship. It was called the Youth Training Scheme, the YTS, £28.50 a week to do 3 days on the job training. So all my mates, carpenters, electricians, tradesmen, that was the stereotypical way to go. You would do 3 days on the job training and 2 days getting qualified. And I was like, I can't even wire a plug. I can just about hammer a nail in the wall. So it wasn't for me. And bearing in mind, there was no health clubs back in the day. There were standalone, bodybuilding gyms, kind of mama and papa gyms. So no big box operators that we know, your Gold's Gym, your World Gym, your Planet Fitness, your Virgin Actives, there was none. So, but there was this was 1987 in the middle of the UK, and my mum knocked the door of a club called Studio One. I said, I've got a 16-year-old. He's still trying to stay in the system and become a professional footballer. There's this thing called YTS. Now, I'm sure the guys that were running the club were like, that's cheap labor, right?
Pretty much.
So for them, literally, they took me on board straight away. True story, I did a Thursday night. It was called Jog Spot. And the class, ironically, you jogged on the spot to music. And the whole conversation around that, I've worked for many big box operators around the world. And we know the power of group exercise and community. And we also know that it's all part about brand and marketing and positioning and awareness and getting people drawn in. The class Jog Spot was brilliant because people knew what they were getting. Fast forward to like 2025, soon to be 2026. The industry complicates the hell out of names and, it basically puts a barrier up to entry. So very, very simple. I did the Thursday night Jog Spot. I vomited halfway through the class. So this is the wannabe professional footballer doing aerobics, like the men do aerobics. And literally didn't touch it. I haven't touched the ball since. Literally, I was bitten by the bug. I started teaching. I built my community. I found my tribe, my friends in the UK at the time. Still very good friends of mine. They were either football hooligans or scooter boys. It was 1987, right? But I grew, I was like, there's an opportunity. Not many men were doing aerobics back then. I became self-employed, hiring out village halls and sports halls. One of my biggest sort of early classes was circuit training. I know we're going to get into hybrid training, but if you look back to 1987, it was hybrid training. We just didn't have the cool packaging then.
The cool lingo.
Yeah, and then literally I was in Shrewsbury still, walking past an old oil refinery, and I saw this fancy neon sign. It was the 90s saying fitness first coming soon. And that was the 12th Fitness First club that I started with. And I ended up, long story short, national fitness manager of one of the biggest health club chains in the world. I did sport aerobics. I was the UK aerobic champion. I used to travel around the world jumping around in spandex.
Cool. That's fun.
Which was basically you take dance and you take gymnastics and you merge it together.
That's who Jason Statham was for a long time. So like you're in the same run as Jason Statham with that.
Exactly. I'll take that. So, you know, I've been really, really blessed. And, you know, me and my wife, we've been together. We met in the fitness industry. We've been together just under 30 years.
Oh, congrats.
And we've just literally traveled around the world. I run a fitness convention in the UK called the International Fitness Showcase, which has been going for 22 years, where brands like Zumba, Spinning, Les Mills, they all launch in the European market at my event. It's in the Blackpool Winter Gardens, where if you watch Dancing with the Stars or Strictly Come Dancing, it's where they always want to go to Blackpool. That's the home of ballroom dancing. That's the venue.
Cool,
yeah, it's an amazing venue that we use. I'll be there in March for our 22nd year. So I've got it's a crystal ball, I would say, into what's hot, what's not in the fitness industry. I can tell you now, in sort of 10, 15 years ago, there was hundreds of people getting qualified in Zumba, whereas this year there won't be hundreds of people getting qualified in Zumba. But I may be chatting to some fitness racing brands to try and bring that proposition to our event. So yeah, it kind of works really well with my working with health club operators and working with up and coming brands and propositions. But yeah, in 2009, I had a phone call talking to Zumba. Virgin Active had exclusivity on a brand called Zumba, 12 months exclusivity, and I was launching brands, white labeling brands and products and propositions and selling back to the operator. One of them was, ironically, a class called Strictly Fit. So BBC Fitness First signed a deal to create a fitness dance proposition, and I project managed that. I had a friend of mine, Joe Parry, she choreographed. We got the music license in the States, and it did really well, but I was a one-man band doing that. Now, at the same time, you've got a monster of a brand called Zumba and all the costs that go with it. So yeah, the COO at the time of Virgin Active South Africa, I knew from way back with Fitness First. She called me and said, "We hear you're white labeling products. Do you want to come and have a chat?" So it was I was like, "Great, 4 days in South Africa. Will I get eaten by a lion?"
Yeah.
Will I see one? Yeah. Very naive British human, I guess.
This episode of Storytime is brought to you by our partners over at Tablet POS, your leading point of sale for the hospitality and retail industries. I'll do the Boobalicious, please. Thank you so much.
Landed in Cape Town, I was like, okay, this place is a little bit special. Bearing in mind, I've been very blessed to travel like most weekends, doing a convention in Russia, in the States, in Iceland, like traveling a lot. And thought, well, this is just another gig. I'll just tune up for 4 days. And within 24 hours, they were like, you seem to know what you're talking about. Do you want a job? And I phoned my wife, who'd had an interesting day in the office. Like, she's personal training and teaching. She was like, I had a really bad day today. And she was like, you can bleep this out. She's like, fuck it, let's just do it.
Good time to make the phone call.
Yeah. And so I literally, that was 24 hours. Second day, went in and said, it's on. So those 4 days became sort of sites, as in looking at properties, and that was end of November 2009. They flew me and my wife back out in December, and February 2010 we moved. It was the World Cup.
Okay.
David Beckham was training in clubs. It was quite a cool time to be here, as you remember. And yeah, I did 12 years with that brand and created products and programs. When HIIT training was a thing, I created 24, which is 24 exercises in 24 minutes.
Yes.
And talking about music as quite a pioneer in hard house called Paul Glasby. I did with Pascal and Pierce. So I used to live with Pascal and Pierce. We used to live together. So we had this 17-month-old kid. If you're listening, Pasky, how's it? My wife's like, I found a place. I'm like, we're living above 2 DJs. I was like, no. But
no sleep.
We had an absolute blast. And but ironically, Paul Glasby did a tour here. And Paul, I said, Pasky, I've got a guy upstairs called Paul Glasby. What? So you got this iconic DJ here with another iconic DJ that just got into creating fitness music or music for the fitness industry. And so my paths have always gone between, I guess, creating products and services for my customer, which is the coach and the instructor, that you can scale. Because it's really difficult to scale. You know, you can go, and this is why the boutique proposition, whether it's hot yoga, whether it's reformer, whether it's Barry's boot camp, it's great, but really challenging globally to scale a proposition. And it's generally down to the human factor, you know, how you look, how you present yourself, the care you show, all the kind of the cool soft skills are really difficult, I guess, to scale across 130 clubs, or in my case now, 51 clubs. But one thing I always use, which is a framework, is a music solution. So the music solution always helps. So yeah, I've been really blessed, met some amazing people, travel the world, continue to do so, meet some cool people, and yeah, the story continues. So yeah, 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, knocked the door with Planet. We used to have a saying when I was working for another brand, which was act like number two whilst being number one.
Sure,
which I used to love. Act like number two whilst, and that was Ross Farragut Thomas, our MD at the time when I was at Virgin, and he was very instrumental in bringing me over. But it was really difficult because you've got 130 clubs. What I'm really enjoying, and I'm working with Tim Carter, I mentioned Tim before, who I worked with back in the day. He was global brand director. We are by volume, I wouldn't say by quality, but by volume, we are number two. We've got 50 clubs against, you know, we're the challenger brand actually. And I think circling back a 360 to what you said and what you've seen over the last 5 years, certainly the last 2 years, is a brand that's almost, we've got the license to be a bit cheeky. We've got the license to push the boundaries a little bit on the brand. We've got the license to stand for something actually. And I'm really enjoying it. 38 years in. We love South Africa. South Africa's, you know, we've been residents here for many years. My boy grew up here. He's now DJing in Arcade and all the other cool clubs that they wouldn't let me in. So yeah, like I said, he's coming up to Plet. So yeah, we love it. We were in Hout Bay for 12 years. And now we're in Komaki, and we're just very blessed. But we still have we're fortunate we still go back to the UK.
Okay.
Certainly going back for the Christmas period, spend some time with family, but always in March for our convention. So I always have that crystal ball. What's trending? What can I bring? What can I bring over to the South Africa fitness market? And that's where I've really loved. You know, I think over the last 38 years, you always have to reinvent yourself. You know, there's no better way than moving to another part of the world. You better reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
You better be able to say "hoi."
Yeah, there you go. You're nailing it.
I can nail a
You're
hoi,
pretty much South African.
Exactly.
But I have to ask, because they've just released the Rugby World Cup group standings, right?
Yeah.
So when the World Cup happens, who do you support?
South Africa, mate. Sorry. Drop the mic. They're very expensive. So
There we go. You just made my day by saying that. Okay.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay. Have to, eh?
Yeah, so, I mean, literally, when I first, here's a quick story for you, but when I first got here, so it's, 2011, bearing in mind that my knowledge on rugby isn't the best, my knowledge on South Africa rugby wasn't the best at all.
Okay.
So I get this kind of brief, okay, you're going to fly to Pretoria, meet this oak.
This oak. Dig it.
And I was like, okay, cool. But everyone's a little bit like nervous because like he's a bit of a hero and he's a bit of a legend and he's a machine. And I was like, okay, who is this guy? Who's the guy? I get the email. It's like, Pierce Spies. Who's Pierce? No, it's Pierce Spiss. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do a bit of research.
Spies.
Yeah,
I love that.
And we did something, and again, I think we've spoke before. Everything does full circles. You know, whether it's swimming from A to B and getting a badge, that instant gratification thing. So literally, I wrote on the back of an envelope the Pierce Spiss challenge on the aeroplane. And the Pierce Spiss, if you're old enough and you're a member of certain health clubs, there was a cardboard cutout of Pierce Spiss in every single health club, and I wrote a protocol. I took him through the protocol, and I think because, and it's weird, it was just after the World Cup, so it probably was 2011. So obviously it was, you sound like David Beckham. And so we had this kind of like banter. I think his sister was his agent, and we had a really we just got on really well. But I think it's because, with the greatest respect, I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
Whereas, the guy that was like from our company that was filming was like, oh my God, it's Pierce Spiss.
He's like, hey, we're not going to be, two good friends after all that.
But that was, that was 15 years ago. But it was, do the Pierce Spiss challenge. And it was before Facebook, before Instagram. I think it was released on YouTube. It went, however viral what those kind of numbers were then, it kind of certainly shot the lights out for anything else they were doing. So I guess we were talking before about branding. It was like, put a badge on a, because it could have been, the Ceri Hannan Fitness Challenge, what it was, but it had the Piss Challenge, a picture of him, Springbok. If you went up the old Claremont, went up the stairs, the first thing you saw was a cardboard cutout with his time, and you would literally do it and put it onto the leaderboard. But I think that talks really nicely to leaderboard, to instant gratification, to racing, to setting goals, benchmarking, journaling, call it what you want, that kind of like where you are today, or what kind of where you've been, where you are today, and more importantly, where you want to be tomorrow.
Well, it seems like throughout your life, I'm going to crack this quick. Sorry, I've been holding out on you from having a sip of this. Cheers. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sold on the red. Let's see if you're sold on the blue.
Yeah, it's quite ironic, the two brands we're talking about. That's not intentional, by the way.
Didn't plan that on purpose. It just happened beautifully.
Like the blue pill or the red pill.
Yeah, there we go, right? Yeah. You've managed to, throughout your life and your travels and your experiences and having your finger on the pulse of what fitness is through the working out health side, but also through the music side, you've been able to implement what you learn straight into what you do as a career and as a job. Looking at the turnaround with Planet Fitness, and I keep going back to that because I'm fascinated at how Planet Fitness used to be the gym that was almost not cool to be at. The purple and the yellow, especially in America, it was like, oh, at Planet Fitness, you can't make noise. At Planet Fitness, the dumbbells don't match XYZ, whatever it was, right? But you've managed to completely flip that on its head and implement these new trends, whether it be the HYROX or the racing style, or it be the Pilates style. You've implemented that into clubs, not only in a way that it becomes accessible to everyone, but in a way that it's relevant to the market of where the club is based as well.
Yeah, totally.
How have you managed to do that?
Yeah, I think the nice thing, and what I'm really enjoying, again, working with the brand, is we're nimble. It's a small, nimble team, and it's a loyal team, and they're grafters. Like, they just work. And they make a plan, which I love. And I remember, 2010. I remember someone say, I was like, I need to bring my surfboard over, and I got 2 bulldogs. We'll make a plan. And so I've used that all the time. Go. And one thing I'm noticing about the business that I'm working with now, Planet, is we make a plan. So you'll see we've been doing all these hybrid games, road shows around the country. We need 10 ski ergs in Poch on a rooftop. Like, I've worked for brands in the past, like, well, no, computer says no, we can't. There's not 10 in the country, and we've got to get up the stairs. And now we're like, we'll make a plan, we'll make it work. Yeah. And there is a man, literally, there is a man with a van or a man with a bucky with 10 ski ergs on the back. Sick. And we make it work. I guess the nice thing that the small, nimble team we've got, everyone has got, you've got an MD and a CEO that kind of have got their finger on the pulse, but you've also got, that kind of next level down of people that have still, I can come back from my event in Blackpool and go, everyone's doing hot Pilates, or everyone's doing Reformer, or everyone's doing, if it would have been 15 years ago, everyone's doing Zumba. And like you said, there's not that much tape to cut through. And I think it's about creating those propositions, and you hit the nail on the head in the right demographic. So knowing where Reformer's going to work, knowing where hybrid training is going to work. But I would say, to kind of circle it back and to really give you a firm answer in that, it's the ability to say yes, and let's just do it. And I think, in 38 years, I worked for a lot of brands. Yeah, we'll get back to you. Let's sleep on it. And the trouble is with the fitness industry, you're in it, you train. There's certain things that work, and there's certain things that will always be here, but it's moving fast. It's moving ridiculously fast. And I think we spoke a little bit about that strange time that we all experienced in COVID, where, the digital world and the physical world. So that it's moving all the time. I mean, in lockdown, you got Peloton saying that gyms are dead, and their share price was going through the roof, and everyone was buying a bike and plugging into, a global community, a system. Whereas, and then suddenly, but no, we're humans. We want to connect. We like digital community, but we prefer physical community. Yes. And then you've got like, you know, then Peloton's kind of doing the other thing. So I think it's having that crystal ball moment. There's a lot of event. Look, you haven't got to physically get on a plane and go to an event anymore, but you still, and I think in this world, I'm a little bit old school. I like to get front and center and see someone on a stage that's representing the next big thing. And I'm fortunate with my own convention hat. You know, I've got 16 or 17 brands. I've got a brand new brand coming over from Australia that might be the next Zumba.
Awesome.
But we just don't know that yet. And I don't know if I saw that digitally, if I looked at their app, I would really appreciate that it might be the next Zumba. But I'm going to see it maybe with 1,000 people, with 1,000 voices in a massive, beautiful Victorian conference centre in Blackpool. Wow. That will go, that's amazing. And if that happens, then maybe I'll be bringing it to South Africa. But if it doesn't, I won't. But the nice thing is, so we've got eyes and ears on the ground in the industry. Yeah. We've got an appetite to, I mean, I wouldn't say an appetite just to have volumes and volumes of clubs, but I think, you know, going back into some of the older clubs and retrofitting those clubs, which has kept us super busy this year. You know, next year, mobility is a big biggie for us. You know, whether you're a weekend warrior, whether you're a hybrid athlete, whether you're a rugby player, whether you just want to move a bit more, you need to be more mobile. And that's like flossing your teeth. You know, I mean, I've done some training recently there's a friend of mine, Jeff Davis in the UK. He's in that world. And he sort of will say, put your hand up, who cleaned their teeth this morning? And hopefully everyone puts their hand up.
Hopefully.
And then you say, put your hand up, who flossed their teeth this morning? And not as many hands go up.
Yeah.
But if you did floss, did it feel a lot better? Yeah, it did. It just felt a lot cleaner. And that's the same in mobility. So Monday night, what day is it today? Monday. Like globally tonight, it's probably back and butt or chest and tricep night globally in every gym. There's not many people going to be doing mobility tonight. But if they did, they would feel like a little bit better. So for me, mobility is just like flossing your teeth. Yeah. So remember that. Next time if you're in Cavendish, there's all that wooden, those six stations. So, you know, take a couple of minutes and just think about flossing your teeth.
It's something that I've actively tried to start getting better at with the stretching. You're right, it does make a difference.
Yeah.
Things like a sauna, things like stretching, things like in my world of weightlifting, the cardio side of things, they all add together to make your favorite part of it even better.
Yeah, and I think it's quite interesting. I mean, you know, as a middle-aged man and some, your goal and your motive, and bearing in mind, you know, so I've in 1987, it was the golden era. It was like Dorian Yates in the bodybuilding world,
the best,
and Ernie Taylor, and all these kind of like iconic kind of bodybuilders. I worked for a health club called Future Physique. A health club, it was a gym.
Awesome.
And I had a studio above, and there was staffable. I mean, literally, there'd be staffies running around the place.
Cool.
So when I wasn't like teaching classes or doing gym programs, I was sat there waiting for things to happen. Or can you make me a protein drink? Yeah. And then someone would say, make your dog shit under the Smith's machine. I mean, it was a hardcore bodybuilding gym, but that was, you know, there was Chemical Warfare. That was a nutritional company at the time. Dorian Yates was involved with that. Yeah. So if I look back, those were amazing times. But certain things never change. But whether you were bodybuilding, whether you were doing aerobics, whether you're now doing fitness racing, just being that little bit more mobile. Yeah. So my goals have changed, I guess. Now, you know, as you get older, you start to lose muscle mass. You lose muscle mass, you fast twitch muscle fibers, lots of, you know, fall prevention. As you get older, a lot of people fall, go into a hospital with a broken hip and don't come out.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, that's totally changed.
100%.
But I'm geeky. I literally am addicted to what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. And it's quite ironic with everything that's out there now. Jump in this that's cold, jump in this that's hot, jump in front of this thing that's red. That's amazing. But for me, if you're not getting the basic, if you're not getting your hydration right, if you're not sleeping right, if your basic nutrition isn't right, then probably look at that first.
Yeah, the foundations.
Get the foundations, like anything in life, right?
Yeah. I made a whole lot of notes on congratulations. You guys have celebrated 30 anniversary, as well as your 50th branch, which is the one in Durbanville, which My word, that's a great gym.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We trained there yesterday. I'm obsessed with that gym. You guys have a pendulum squat there, which
Yeah.
we don't have in Claremont,
Yeah, it's
which
amazing.
I'm pushing
Yeah,
really hard for.
What did I say? We'll make a plan.
There we go. Thank you.
I'll get a man. I'll get a man in a
Make
bucky.
my day. If because of the podcast
get a
we
man
get
in
a
a
pendulum
bucky.
squat in Claremont.
Noted.
Yeah, thank you for just saying that to whoever it needs to go to. Looking at all the facilities that you guys have implemented into Planet, being someone that's there 2 to 3 hours every day, there's a few different angles to it that I found really interesting. And one of them is the implementation of something like a posing room. The lighting, the almost aura of the room where everything is so sleek and black and down lighting even in the weighted section as well. Was that implemented to take advantage of something like the digital landscape of what fitness has become?
Yeah, look, 100%. There's some brands overseas. I think it's Pure Gym. When you go into the reception, you can actually pick up a tripod.
No way.
On your way in. It's like, because, everyone's taking their own tripod anyway, but, in the UK, health and safety does the tripod, take
We'll do
the
it for
tripod got
you.
3 legs.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of will provide that for you. I think one of the biggies is changing room etiquette. So how many times have you seen, there's a guy sort of like hand over his bits and pieces and he's taking a picture, then my dad is like in the background, like that 1 foot on the bench, there's that guy globally like doing his thing, flossing.
Yeah.
And
Don't forget to floss.
he's doing a different kind of flossing. So there's a couple of things there. One, generally, the lighting is pretty average in a changing room. 2, there is generally that guy flossing behind you. 3, it's probably going to go on Instagram. So you're going to go, well, how do you sort of fix that solution? How do you make a plan? So look, Jenna and Justin, who are Manny, who started the business with Monet, his daughter and son are very instrumental. So Jenna's head of marketing. Okay. So they're very instrumental, and they are that sort of like millennial, Gen Z millennial. Yeah. So you've got old fossils like me that maybe been around a while, but you've got also like guys that are in a different space.
It's a great blend.
Which is really, really, really cool. So, they were things like the booty builder, the booty zone. To be fair, I'd love to say, but that's theirs.
That was my next question.
Yeah. And the posing room. So you go, if you're going to do it, we'll give you a bit of Hollywood. Like, we'll make you look good. It's private. And you can get all the pictures you want, and you'll look probably better than you even do in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Because the lighting's good, right?
Yep.
And get it on Instagram, and just make sure you tag us.
Planet. It's genius.
So it's kind of like one of those things, simple things, or simplicity / genius, which is great. And the booty builder, we've seen people for years, like, with an elastic band around their legs, walking across the gym floor like a crab. Like, just like a little bit awkward in the wrong place on the London.
Where do you belong?
Yeah. There's a track. There's a long track there. I'll do it on the sled track. Then someone's coming towards you with a sled. So once again, I think it's creating curated spaces with lighting that makes you think about a nightclub. When you go, I say an old school nightclub, no mirrors, pumping sound systems. Generally a bit of tequila thrown in, but that's another thing. But ultimately, an environment that's conducive to having a good time. And then flip that and go to most health clubs that, let's be honest, were built in the 90s and now and again get a bit of lipstick put on the pig. Think about and think, do you know what I mean? And then if you think about the studios, wooden floors, mirrors everywhere. So think about a lot of the people that have, to walk through those doors, we've all been there, it's tough. Basically, to walk through the doors of a health club, for most people, they're saying, I need help. I need help. I've been told to be here. The mirrors told me to be here. My partner's kind of told me to be here. Whatever that sort of that emotional crutch is, they're there, and it's tough. And then we put them in a studio that was built in the 90s, bright lights everywhere, mirrors everywhere, and an instructor that looks amazing, perception, I guess, and a front row of people that look amazing. It's so non-conducive, and that's why we have this huge turnover in the health club industry globally. We lose a lot of members. Flip that narrative completely, change the lighting, make people look good, maybe a little bit better than they even do, because you know, we're in the business. I'm not directly in the business of sales. I use this saying all the time. I'm in the business of repeat visits. I want you to walk out and go, shit, that was just amazing.
It felt good.
You know, when I talk to the instructors that I deal with, I call them day makers. Sounds a bit cheesy, but like, you know, go out and make someone's day.
Cool.
Like when you get in a car, when you get in that car, you go, it's a shit workout. I'm hot, I'm sweaty. It was okay. Or that instructor high-fived me. That receptionist said, "It's Josh, right? Yeah. How was it? Did you try the mobility? Because apparently it's like flossing your teeth."
I heard it on a show somewhere.
You know, so I guess my job is to try to scale education, but in a fun way. I got a very cheesy acronym that I've used for years when I create programming or training, and it's FAB. It's like, it's got to be fun, it's got to be achievable, and people feel like they belong. So it's got to be fun, achievable, belong. Cool. So if you think about when you go to the gym, did you have fun? Because if you go to an indoor cycle class and you've never been to a cycle class before, but you were just told to go to group training because group training's a thing, but you fell off a cycle as a kid and you've got like some issues with cycling, it's going to be an hour of pain. You're going to be sore. You're going to get hot, sweaty. It's going to feel like an anxiety attack. And you're going to go out. So you may achieve a heart rate and you may have achieved a calorie burn, but it won't fun. And you probably didn't feel like you belong there. Because again, the instructors are Lance Armstrong, and there's many Lance Armstrongs everywhere, and everybody's amazing. So, was it fun? Is it achievable? And do we belong? And that takes us, I guess, onto some brands at the moment that are doing this fitness racing. When you cut through the brand, if you think about HYROX as an example at the moment, you know, I said I got a very good friend of mine. You know, I think he's just hit 50. He did HYROX London yesterday with 40,000 other people. By looking at the pictures, I'm not sure he had fun, but you know, but he did it with a partner. So you
general
can see
sense of fun.
General sense of fun, yeah. He did it, so he achieved it, and I think he felt like he belonged to a community that was 40,000 strong, and it was 40,000 strong, which we know is like 1,000 strong around the rest of the world. So I guess if there's any wannabe Zumbas, wannabe Les Mills, wannabe spinning, any brand out there that's on the cusp of creating the next big thing, I would always tick those three boxes. Because if you go, and you could argue brands, I would say, and I'm going to stick it out there, argue brands like CrossFit, it's quite hard to belong to that community. They get community right, but you've got to get in there first. Yeah. You know, if I say to my brother maybe that doesn't train, you're going to go down the box, you're going to be walking on your hands in your first session.
True.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
It ain't going to be fun. I'm not sure he's not going to achieve that. But it's like anything in life. If you go to a good coach, they're not going to get you to do that. But so that's a bit of a generic kind of example. But those three things for me are killer. You know, just keep it simple, keep it fun, let people walk out and go, yeah, that's good, and be a day maker.
Yeah.
Not a day breaker. Because again, I've been to that class where. And I've probably been that guy. When I did sport aerobics, I nearly lost a business. I had a studio in that bodybuilding gym that I spoke about. It was called Kerry's Cardio Connection. And I was British aerobic champion, and my choreography was crazy for me and about 8 people. But I was paying rent on that studio. So I rapidly started to understand that it was fun and achievable, and people felt like they belonged. Well, about 8 people. But when that new person, when Josh came for the first time, and he's like, what the hell? Like, it's that stereotypical, everyone's going left, you're going right. So that narrative changed really quick. Yeah. Less is more, keep it simple. I do a lot of events with my wife at like these Saturday night fitness at Monte Casino. Yeah. So we do all the talent management. So we put everyone on the stage that you see. And I've got a class that I started in 1999. It's called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. And it basically, we do everything from the Beatles to, we've got now some South African vibes in there. We have Lion King. So it's musical theatre through to, it's 20 minutes of people having fun. They achieve it because everyone can clap to the beat or put their arms in the air at the same time. But if you're at Monte Casino with 3,000 people with their hands in the air, you're like, I'm having fun here.
Oh, that's cool.
And
you feel like you belong.
And I did it. And I belong to this thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. And I kind of going off on a bit of a tangent, but that kind of sober socializing, early evening, DJ, 3,000 people, like-minded individuals, community, right?
Well, I want to give you credit on your statement of saying that your job is about repeating, people coming back. So on IOL, I mean, I've got articles from Fitness from Mag, from IOL, from Business Tech, just on the success that Planet Fitness has been over the last 3 to 5 years, let's say. But they say welcoming more than 12,000 members every month. Our clubs see 850,000 members through their doors every month. For this higher percentage of engagement is a true metric of success. That it's not just people walking through the door, it's how often are they using the ability to be there in their lifestyle and in their daily living. You guys have become an official partner to HYROX as the training partner tied in with HYROX. What was the conversation around making that partnership happen? Just because I want to go into the success of HYROX and what I think they're doing incredibly well.
So I think, like as I said to you before, you know, I saw this kind of globally, I guess, through my sort of friends, peers within my network around the world. So I saw this kind of juggernaut come in. Yeah. In fact, you know, ironically, I saw somebody at the Cape Town HYROX who's got a CrossFit box that I used to work with, and probably I worked with her about 3 years ago, and I said to her, you love this thing I'm seeing. It started in Germany. It's kind of getting there in the UK, and I'm seeing it globally. And she's like, well, what is it? What is it? What is it? I said, nah. And that was it. Conversation stopped. Our paths kind of went in different directions. Fast forward 3 years later, bumped into her at the CTICC at the HYROX. And she was like, I'm going on in an hour, you know, all like stoked. She got all the gear on, you know, six pack and you know, things tattooed, like transfers and numbers on her, and like hybrid athlete, right? And she said, but I remember you saying to me 3 years ago, there's this thing. And I was like, yeah. And here you are with 3,000 other people. And she said, she got a CrossFit box. She said, I just want to let you know as well, it saved my business.
Really?
So she's an affiliate of it, and I think that we spoke to before, this sort of lower barrier to entry. So I think from a brand positioning perspective, and like, you know, credit to Tim Carter, who I work with. Tim really gets brand better than anybody I know globally. You know, literally been around the block with multiple brands. So from a brand association perspective, it made sense. We really drilled down into the training community side of things. We kind of we know what we stand for. It's that kind of Gen Z, millennial, everyone's welcome, but we've really drilled into that training community. So it really, the two felt like a perfect mix anyway. Yeah. Programming wise, I've worked in that space, that hybrid, called hybrid now, cross training, functional training space for many, many years. So that kind of excited me as well. And then running events overseas that I do, that we could then bring some of that expertise and experience to the South African market. So we've run our hybrid games. So it's been a really, really an amazing sort of journey that we're on with these guys. And it's growing from strength to strength, as you say, globally.
Well, it's I mean, we were saying earlier of, it's the system that's been put in place that really fascinates me with HYROX, that it's almost the pride attached to the achievement, not only of doing the event on the day, but also to getting to that point. You know, people are posting their Strava, they're posting selfies in whatever gym they're at with the team that are also going to be there on the day. It's the badge on the backpack, it's the number on the shoulder. There's,
it's a machine, eh?
You know, like
it's a machine.
Finish line photo, and as you said, instant gratification. The photo immediately up on the screen, everyone gets to see. You see your time. Like
slick.
There's a process that's been put in place, and I think is functional hybrid training something that's brand new? No, as you say as well, it's been around forever in different styles and forms, right? It's morphed.
Yeah,
but what HYROX have done so well is the brand is cool to be associated to. And it's changed the way that people make media. People went from being, oh, look at me, I'm a bodybuilder, I train my biceps, here's a bicep flex in the mirror, to here's my Strava stat and here's how far I can lunge in a day. You know, it's just, you can see how social media has shifted because of the way that they've been able to brand.
Totally.
So jumping on as a training partner to it feels genius.
Yeah, and I think the simplicity, you know, it's quite interesting. Everything that seems to have come through over the last hour or so is any good idea is a simple idea, right?
Yeah.
And you think the key difference between that event and other fitness races, hybrid training races, it never changes. So you know what you're going to get. So if you're into bodybuilding and you weigh yourself on the scales at home and the scales are totally inaccurate, but if you consistently train on those inaccurate scales, then you know if you're up, down, it's a benchmark.
There's some accuracy there.
There's some accuracy.
Yeah.
It's consistent. Yeah. And you, as you know, you can, like I said, I've got mates literally buying Christmas presents for their partners from the UK for a HYROX event in Sweden or Switzerland or, you know, somewhere else. So it's that, you know what you're training for, you got the date in your diary, it's not going to change. It's that consistency that I guess with training we all need, because that's why, you know, whether you're training for bigger arms, a stronger cardiovascular system, to be more mobile, consistency is the currency that you're looking for, I guess.
The growth strategy is to open 5 new clubs per year to target 75 clubs by the end of 2030, with currently there being 51. Durban will having been the 50th. Knowing that stat, a really big question that I have, right? And it ties into something like a partnership to HYROX. Planet Fitness has become one of the forefront brands in the fitness industry of like, this is the place to go. There are crazy amounts of people signing up to Planet Fitness now. How do you maintain, one, a standard of quality with that many people not coming through the door, but also how do you maintain the community side of things where it doesn't become an overcrowded, too many people in the room space?
Yeah. Look, that you bang on. I think it's an industry challenge that we've always had. You know, if you've got 10,000 members in Club X, you always get, what happens if they all turn up on a Monday night?
Exactly.
to do chest and triceps.
Yeah. There's only 7 benches.
Yeah.
Like, how many people are going to rotate? You know.
But I think so. So a couple of points on that before, as you can probably tell, I can kind of veer off. So a couple of things is, how do you distribute those members? Okay. So it's creating those spaces within spaces, curating, and we know group training, and you can probably, that's the common thread that comes through for me. That's part of the reason that people do go back for more. We know if you can get people into a routine, consistency, building community. So Ceri Hannan, Jog Spot, Thursday night, Studio One, 1988. I can close my eyes, I can tell you Gordon, what was his name? I got Gordon there, I got Jackie there, I got Barry. I can name the names now. So there's a couple of things off the back of that. Group training it's an appointment. You know, if you've got a dental appointment in 2 hours' time, you're probably going to make it because it's an appointment. It's wrote down, it's there. So, if the gym opens at 5 in the morning and closes at 10 at night, and it's Monday and it's chest and tricep night, things can get in the way. Chest and tricep can be Tuesday, really. Whereas if you go to Reformer at 6 o'clock at Cavendish, because it's on tonight and my wife's teaching, she can probably name her Gordon and her Barry and her Jackies. So to answer to your question is to get great people in the business that can create communities within the bigger community. So the Reformer community, the hybrid training community, the steppers. So when my wife, Lydia, is teaching Reformer, so she does hot Pilates, then Reformer. At the same time, Sam, one of our other instructors, is teaching, he's on like a hip-hop step class next door.
Oh, Jacked Sam.
Jack Sam.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I say to him, mate, you need to sort those arms out.
Yeah, they're huge. Yeah.
So Sam will be teaching next door. So you've got the Planet Fitness community, the 51, 52 clubs, then you've got the Reformer community, but then you've got Lydia's Reformer, and you've got Sam's Step. So it's how we distribute those people. So Josh and his mates can go and do their chest and triceps. Kieran can go and do his legs. Somebody can go and do hybrid training. So it's distribution of those members. There's nothing worse than having all these studios and they're empty. Yeah. And it's also understanding where the market's going. So if we refurb clubs now that have got studios from the 90s I mentioned the lipstick on a pig.
Yes.
You know, in the 90s, Kerry's jog spot, I jogged on the spot, but there wasn't reformer then. There wasn't really hybrid training. There wasn't all the different modalities. So you'd have these massive studios, 100 people in a studio. Some of the studios are still there. Well, they're not that conducive, as I said. They're bright. There's mirrors everywhere. I'm not feeling the best about myself, and I've really reinforced the fact that I'm not feeling the best about myself. So if we do a refurb, could we cut that in half? Yeah. Could we put reformer on one side and a functional training space on the other? Yeah. So it's starting to look at how you optimize the spaces and optimize.
Okay.
So studio optimization is a bit of a kind of a corporate or
Sounds
a health
cool,
club.
though.
Sounds cool. Yeah. Kind of like to throw that in now. and
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, every now and then, bang, handle that.
So optimizing those spaces. But the trouble is, you know, and I'm a great believer in this, and hopefully it's coming through, is that reformer's great. You know, it's not about the bike, as Lance Armstrong said. So when cycling was a thing, and it's not so much of a thing now, indoor cycling, but when it was, you could put the best bike in there with the best metrics, with digital screens. But if you've got an instructor that doesn't care, that doesn't ensure that their consumer or their member has fun and they achieve that class and they belong. Yeah. And I see it all the time. This event we run in at Monte Cassino, so it's done through Media 24, but we do the talent acquisition and management.
Okay.
I get people, oh, you got to book Johnny or Jenny or blah, blah, blah. And I say, cool, send me some content. Send me the content. There's Johnny with about 500 people maybe in the class, but his back's turned and it's all complicated. I'm like, well, you have 3,000 people in the crowd, so maybe turn around and face people and look them in the eye. And I want, like open your eyes and let people in and all the cool soft skills. So my job really is, so funny enough, I've just signed off some dates now. So January the 16th, I do a roadshow of education. This year's theme's Amplify, and it's how our instructors amplify the experience for the member. So talking about how do we manage growth consistently. So all our instructors, we're going to gift an app, which will have a music solution in there.
Wow.
So, you know, when you can do guided meditation, sound bowl, it's all beat matched. So you're not playing music from YouTube that one is illegal, and two, you got an advert halfway through a meditation class. There's someone talking about train
That's brilliant.
maybe.
That's brilliant.
So we're trying to, I guess I'm trying to, it's almost a bit of a give back, because, you know, when I was 16, I had a couple of Technics 1210s and I was like mixing my own music and push record on the tape. And it was tough. But, you know, I was passionate, and I still, you know, I was passionate now, I think, as a 55-year-old than I was or when I was 16. But it's a different world now, as you know. It's quite, and our industry is quite a transient industry. People come in because it's cool, then they realise, actually, we don't get paid the best, and you've got to work public holidays, and you've got to work weekends. Yeah, you do, but you've got to love this thing. And that's great. And then if they don't want to do that, they go, well, I'll be an online trainer, and I'll make my millions. I'll be the next Kayla Einsteins or Joe Wicks. I'm like, cool. There's a lot of those out there.
Wish you all the best.
Yeah.
But community is important.
But community,
people
And I think, you know, so I guess without going too much back to that, I think to answer your, from a consistency perspective, it's optimization of spaces, optimization of relevant spaces in the right market. The pop-up events we're doing are doing great for us, because there's that goal. So it's 3 months. It's like, I'm dropping off. Oh shit, I've got an event in 3 months' time. I better stay back on. So it's that kind of benchmarking with those physical sort of nudges. We're literally nudging people's behavior to, and I can tell you now, it's April and it's August and it's November next year. And in February, we'll launch a new program. So I've got a whole thing where it's train, measure, race, repeat. At the moment in our business, we measure. So you can go into a club on a Monday and we can do, I've read a very simple protocol, takes plus minus 4 minutes, and it's leaderboarded. So you can go Josh,
I've done
Cavendish.
that.
Yeah.
I did that last month.
Yeah. So we'll keep that. So that's the measure. And a lot, you know, so because we understand, we spoke about instant gratification, like benchmarking. So we measure. Race, we think we've waxed. We've got a 23-minute hybrid sort of simulation race. We did Poch, Westville, Cavendish,
Was that
for
that
the
was
shopping
up
mall
on the
roof.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
It was on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we did the finals at Olympus where we flew the Cape Town Oaks and we flew the
Really?
Durban Oaks. Yeah, it was great. So we've done that. So that's going to start again next year. And I've gone, there's a missing link here a little bit. People can go and train for that stuff, but maybe they need a bit of guidance. So February, I've just wrote the training for it now. And I was saying to you before, it's based around movement. So you'll be able to go to a hybrid class. So you'll be able to not only measure, not only race, you'll be able to train for it, but with a bit of guidance with the coach that will ensure, hopefully, that you have fun and that you achieve and you feel like you belong. So it's
That's cool, eh?
yeah. So we're trying to look at the whole kind of 360 approach to it.
Yeah.
Because the racing's great, but if you're not, you can go and race and go, oh, I certainly didn't have fun, and I certainly didn't achieve because I wanted to do it in an hour and it took me 3 hours. Therefore, I absolutely don't belong, and I'm never going to go again. My job is repeat visits, sales. I'm in sales, but I'm just selling repeat visits. There's no financial transaction, but there is because we want you to stay a little bit longer.
100%. There's if I break down what our experience at Cavendish Planet is, this is what I love about it. There's elements that have been integrated into the space that make it feel like it's a part of my lifestyle, not just a task of having to go do it. Now, for me, I'm obsessed with bodybuilding and weightlifting, and I love that shit. So, like, to me, the 2 hours at the gym, I'm like, I cannot wait to go to the gym tonight. Like, that's my finish off the day with work. I get to go be at the gym for 2 hours.
Awesome.
I know a lot of people don't feel that way about training, right?
Yeah,
It's
that's
just,
amazing.
Just different
You're
views on
like
it, right?
the repeat visit with you. It's just done deal.
Yeah, you
It's
guys
done deal.
have me for as long as I can pick up something. So the experience of walking through the front door, all the staff at the front desk will greet us by name, Josh, Jess, every single time.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
you were here yesterday. I didn't see you. Why
Yeah.
not? No, I came in for lunch because we had a dinner going on.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
cool.
amazing.
So and so was at the front desk. Yeah, I said hi to them yesterday. Walk through, get to that I love. I love that they're doing this in gyms. The area where it's fast Wi-Fi, lounge kind of vibe set up, a billion different plug points.
Yeah.
That is one of my biggest fucking icks when there's no plug points.
Totally.
A billion plug points. Cafe, rocking everything there. The lady at the cafe every single time we walk
Agnes.
past. How's it going? How you doing? We're like,
She's
sick,
hilarious.
Agnes, dope to see you. You know, cool conversation with her. So we've only made it 25 meters into the gym, but you've already spoken with 4 or 5 different people, right?
Yeah. It's so refreshing to hear this because, you're just getting rid of, you're talking about the friction, aren't you? The pain points of anything, whether it's going to a restaurant, coffee shop, which is brilliant. But I use a thing called like see you tomorrow. So see you tomorrow. So the power of that is amazing. If we can, and I try and get that ingrain that into the whole business. So if you go to my wife, do you go to Lydia's reformer class tonight? She should, we call it happy ending. So a happy ending, and everyone likes a happy ending. So she stands at the door, and I've ingrained this into thousands of instructors around the world. So you finish your class, because normally an instructor will stand on the stage and go, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Yes.
Well done, bye, 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 bye. And then they go and talk to all the cool people on the front. Whereas my mum's at the back and she creeps out the back because she's had no fun. She hasn't achieved.
Yeah.
And she'll never belong, and then she goes. And we never see her again. So we flip that narrative completely. So when you finish a class, stand at the back of the class because the door's normally at the back of the class. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, open the door. And then all the beginners are at the back. So the first people I actually see are the newbies.
Very clever.
So Josh is at the back of the door, at the back of the room. He walks out because maybe I didn't give him the eye contact. Maybe he didn't have fun. Maybe he didn't achieve. Maybe he certainly didn't want to belong. And I'll be like, boom, Josh, right? Yeah, well done, mate. I didn't notice you went left when everyone went right, but I did. But you did amazing, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cool. And then you walked. Let's just go through Cavendish. You walked out. Sam's personal training someone. Hey, it's Josh, right? Yeah, cool. How was it? Yeah, it was amazing. Cool. Awesome. I'll see you tomorrow. Goes down the stairs, goes into the changing rooms. There's somebody, a locker attendant, sweeping the floor, doing what they do. How was the workout, Josh? Amazing. Well, it was okay. Cool. But I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. Cup of coffee, please. Agnes. How was it? Amazing. Cool. I'll see you tomorrow. You walked down that long corridor.
Yep. With all those
Receptionist.
stripy lights.
Yeah. It's Josh, right? Yeah, cool. I'll see you tomorrow. The car park, if we can even get to the car park person. When you're someone parking your car, you get in your car. Josh, what? I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
You start your car. I can guarantee there's one place you're going tomorrow.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's for me. That's what you've just said is great. It's like you take that friction away. It's relationships. There's two things I always talk about. You know, you got it in any relationship, whether it's with your beautiful partner, whether it's with your dog, or whether it's with your friends or your employee or your employer, whoever it is. It's like trust and care. Like you've got to, if you're working for a brand, I don't really trust. You know, if you're on a squat rack and you don't really trust the maintenance in this club, you put it back is going to collapse. That's not so cool. You want to trust the brand you're working with, and you want to feel like they care. Like, and I think this day and age, there's no excuse not to know your name, because you swipe in, beep, Josh. It's Josh, right? Wow, that's amazing.
How did you know?
How did you know that? I mean, and let's be honest, we're in a cashless society now, pretty much, aren't we? So everything we do is beep, 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 beep. Your name comes up. So and when's the last time you went to a restaurant? So I went, thank you very much, Mr. Hannan. Amazing. Hey, have a good day. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, that works. I like that. See you tomorrow. Yeah.
See you tomorrow. I mean, it's just
very
simple.
Cool.
So it's, you know, I've in 38 years of doing this, and I've seen like, you know, functional training come and step. This thing called step, where we're going to go up, up, down, down multiple times.
Sure,
so I've seen all these new trends come and go. It's all about the people.
I love that. Thank you.
Lekker.
Thank you for your knowledge and your insight into all of
gooid,
this. There we go. We did. Ons het gepraat. Yeah, I love
as far
that.
as it
Thank
goes.
you. This is a topic and a you know, area of interest that I've had all my life, in terms of not just being in a gym, but understanding how they run and the branding behind them and what makes them special. And I'm big on people as well. So
awesome, man.
Those
I
are
loved
the
it.
sticking points for me, you know, Agnes and front desk people and the people that come in at the same time as me. And I know, you know, that like, I like that community of it. I've made a lot of friends in these spaces that have been lifelong friends this far. So
I think and again, I guess going back to your, you know, how do you hold on to that consistency? It's just getting the right people.
Yeah, dig it.
Wicked.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Appreciate your time. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget about the event happening in Plet from the 15th to the 20th.
15th to 21st.
There we go, to the 21st. We'll see you guys there. It's going to be an incredible event. Get your holiday and your training in at the same time and become a part of a great community with Planet Fitness. Also, we'll see you at the Knox event, Knox Legacy Series in February next year for some of the greatest fights Cape Town has ever seen. Thank you guys so much.
Lekker.
Sweet.
All right, mate.